This is not the Rocky Mountains. This is not Yosemite National Park. This is where I was born, Xinjiang, China. Old English language often refers to the area as Chinese Turkestan. It is the largest Chinese administrative division, spanning over 1.6 million square kilometers and borders with 8 countries. Home to a number of ethnic groups, including Uyghur and Han, with the majority of the population are Muslims, with only about 4.3% of its land area fit for human habitation. Xinjiang holds 15% of China's insured oil reserve and 22% of total insured natural gas reserve. Hans in Xinjiang are demographically older, better educated, and work in higher-paying professions than their Uyghur cohabitants. This which has been achieved through land grabs, political prosecution, and religious oppression. The Uyghur community has been excluded entirely from the recent decades of China's economic development, and as a result, riots and violence raged through the region. Terrorist attacks have been carried out throughout the country. Racial tension is rising, and deadly confrontation between the two ethnic groups became inevitable. But did I know all of this when I was there? Certainly not. When I grew up in China, all I knew was that People's Liberation Army freed local indigenous people from oppression by the Soviet Union-backed Uyghur separatists in 1949. They welcomed us to their homes, eat their food, and drink their water, and they were certainly happy when we started to drill holes and transport their oil and gas to the East Coast cities in China. And how did I get to this point? What made me realize that I am a settler on this land? Canada, a country with abundant land and resources and has a similar landscape like mine, where democracy has flourished and inspired the rest of the world. I had always known about Canada since I was a kid. Its image had always been positively portrayed in Chinese history books and on TV shows. Believe it or not, my huge interest in Canada was a result of an early age exposure to Hollywood movies, where Indians were portrayed as this and this. With these stereotypical assumptions, I registered in the first year English class, hoping to learn how to ride horses and shoot archery. And yes, it was a big shock after the first class. I couldn't believe that Canadians are settlers, as governments systematically assimilate local indigenous population to residential school, where young indigenous children had been sexually abused and punished for speaking traditional languages. And even today, some Aboriginal communities still experiencing poor living conditions on reserves, higher than average unemployment rate and suicide rate. And throughout my studies in Alliance class, the Canada PeaceMaker myth has shattered. So has my own country's myth. I have realized for the first time that I am a settler. The land I call home is mine. And I grew up with these PeaceMaker myth lies. In a world where similar lies have been told and conflicts are going on, I don't know what path this realization will lead me to. It has only left me two choices: either carry on with your life or stand up for what is right.